Neuroscience and artificial intelligence are advancing rapidly at the same time. Brain-computer interfaces, neural imaging systems, biometric sensors, and machine learning models are all becoming more sophisticated each year. Most of these technologies are being developed for medicine, communication, or scientific research. However, as neural technology improves, researchers and security analysts are beginning to warn about a new category of digital risk: the commercialization of human neural data. Neural data refers to information generated by the human nervous system. Brain activity creates electrical and chemical patterns constantly as people think, remember, react, and process emotions. Technologies such as EEG headsets, neural implants, biometric wearables, and advanced scanning systems are increasingly capable of measuring parts of this activity. Today, most systems remain limited compared to the complexity of the human brain, but the amount of measurable cognitive information is growing steadily. The central concern is that neural information may eventually become economically valuable in the same way personal data became valuable during the rise of the internet economy. Search history, location tracking, browsing behavior, purchases, and social media activity already generate enormous profits for technology companies. Neural information may represent the next stage because it relates directly to emotion, attention, memory, and decision-making. Researchers are already studying systems capable of identifying emotional responses, stress patterns, attention levels, and cognitive reactions through neural monitoring technologies. Some experimental systems can estimate whether users recognize specific images, respond emotionally to certain stimuli, or maintain focus during tasks. Medical researchers hope these systems may eventually help treat neurological disorders or improve communication for disabled patients. However, any technology capable of measuring cognitive activity also creates privacy risks. Unlike passwords or credit cards, neural patterns are deeply connected to personal identity. Brain activity may reveal emotional reactions, psychological tendencies, behavioral preferences, and possibly fragments of memory or recognition patterns. If such information becomes commercially valuable, it may also become a target for theft, surveillance, or unauthorized collection. This is where the idea of a neural black market begins to emerge. Cybercrime has historically focused on financial information, identity theft, corporate secrets, and infrastructure attacks. In the future, criminals may increasingly target cognitive data itself. Neural information could potentially be valuable for behavioral prediction, psychological profiling, targeted advertising, political influence, or identity replication systems. Artificial intelligence makes this possibility more significant because AI systems are designed to identify patterns inside extremely large datasets. Even partial neural information may become useful when combined with behavioral tracking, biometric monitoring, browsing history, purchasing habits, and emotional analysis. AI systems do not necessarily need complete brain access to build increasingly accurate psychological models. The first stage of this transformation is already visible through wearable technology and biometric monitoring. Smartwatches, fitness trackers, sleep monitors, and emotional AI systems already collect large amounts of physiological information connected to human behavior. Heart rate variability, stress levels, movement patterns, sleep cycles, and emotional responses can all contribute to behavioral analysis systems. Brain-computer interfaces may eventually expand this further. Several companies are developing systems designed to connect neural activity directly to digital devices. Most current projects focus on healthcare applications such as restoring movement, communication, or motor control for disabled patients. However, some long-term visions involve cognitive enhancement, digital interaction, memory assistance, or direct AI integration. As neural interfaces become more advanced, security becomes critically important. Any connected system creates potential vulnerabilities. If neural devices eventually store or transmit sensitive cognitive information, they may also become targets for hacking or unauthorized access. Security experts are already discussing concepts sometimes called neurosecurity or cognitive cybersecurity. One concern involves data ownership. Modern digital platforms often collect user information through lengthy agreements most people never fully read. Similar practices involving neural information could create serious ethical problems. If companies gain access to emotional patterns, cognitive responses, or neural activity, questions emerge about who controls that information and how it may be monetized. Advertising may become one of the largest commercial drivers behind neural data collection. Modern advertising systems already rely heavily on predictive behavioral modeling. Companies study emotional engagement, attention patterns, and purchasing behavior to optimize influence strategies. Neural data could dramatically increase the accuracy of these systems by revealing subconscious reactions directly rather than inferring them indirectly. Political influence operations may also evolve alongside neural technologies. Governments and strategic organizations increasingly understand the value of behavioral prediction and psychological targeting. Neural information could potentially allow far more precise modeling of emotional vulnerability, ideological reaction, or cognitive bias. The concern is not mind reading in a science fiction sense. The concern is increasingly accurate psychological prediction. The entertainment industry may also pursue neural interaction systems aggressively. Developers are already experimenting with brain-responsive gaming environments, biometric storytelling systems, and immersive digital experiences that adapt to emotional reactions. Such technologies may improve entertainment experiences while simultaneously collecting extremely sensitive psychological information. Memory itself may eventually become commercially important. Human memory shapes identity, behavior, relationships, and decision-making. Neuroscientists still understand only part of how memory functions biologically, but research into memory formation and recall continues advancing. Some experimental systems already study recognition patterns and memory-associated neural activity under controlled conditions. This creates fears about synthetic memory manipulation in the future. If systems eventually become capable of influencing memory recall, emotional association, or perception patterns, cognitive security could become a major societal issue. While many extreme scenarios remain speculative today, the direction of technological development continues raising serious ethical questions. The larger issue is that neural technology blurs the boundary between external digital systems and internal human cognition. Earlier technologies mainly tracked external behavior, such as purchases, location, or communication. Neural systems move closer to measuring internal psychological processes themselves. This represents a major shift in the relationship between humans and technology. Some researchers argue that strict regulation and strong encryption standards can prevent abuse. Others worry regulation will struggle to keep pace with commercial and geopolitical competition. History shows that valuable data tends to attract both corporate exploitation and criminal targeting eventually. Neural information may become one of the most valuable forms of data because it relates directly to prediction of human behavior. The black market comparison matters because underground economies often emerge around high-value information systems. Financial data, identity documents, passwords, corporate secrets, and surveillance tools already circulate through cyber-criminal markets globally. If neural data acquires sufficient economic value, similar underground trade networks may eventually appear. The military and intelligence implications are also significant. Governments are investing heavily in neuroscience, artificial intelligence, biometric monitoring, and cognitive performance research. National security organizations recognize that human cognition itself may become strategically important in future information warfare environments. Despite these concerns, many neural technologies may also produce legitimate benefits. Brain-computer interfaces could restore communication for paralyzed patients. Neural prosthetics may improve treatment for neurological disorders. Cognitive monitoring systems may help detect mental health problems earlier. The technology itself is not inherently dangerous. The challenge is controlling how it is used, stored, and protected. The most important reality is that biological privacy is becoming increasingly difficult to separate from digital systems. Human beings already carry devices that monitor movement, communication, attention, location, and physiological activity continuously. Neural technologies may eventually extend this monitoring closer to cognition itself. The neural black market is not fully developed today, but the conditions that could create it are already forming. Artificial intelligence, biometric surveillance, neural interfaces, behavioral prediction systems, and digital infrastructure are converging rapidly. Together, they may transform memory, emotion, and cognition into economically valuable digital assets. For most of human history, thoughts and memories remained fundamentally private because no technology could measure them directly at scale. That technological barrier is gradually weakening. The future battle over privacy may no longer involve only passwords, bank accounts, or personal files. Increasingly, it may involve the protection of the human mind itself. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the forces shaping our future, be sure to explore our other documentaries examining the technologies redefining modern civilization. And if you want to keep exploring the biggest questions about science, power, and the future of humanity, make sure to subscribe to the channel and join us for the next journey into the unknown.